Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Dead Space 3. Let's continue. So we're doing this side mission, which we'll have to do this co-op hacking thing. Electrical engineer interface. Seems like you really do just have to hit A once. And it also seems like you don't have to really line up any of that stuff to a specific one, so you can cross the streams fairly easily. At this point, I am taking so many breaks between episodes in general, just recording games, that it's not even worth mentioning. It's been probably an extra day or two since I last played, but yeah, that does bring about a issue, certainly, as far as whether or not you're going to be able to be consistently warmed up. Okay. So the thing we wanted to see is our inventory first. We're kind of low on health kits, and we're kind of high on this, so it probably wouldn't hurt to make some of this. We probably need to hold on to more stasis packs going forward. We don't have enough tungsten from that scavenger bot to upgrade this, nor upgrade this, so we can't really do anything there. And more than likely, it's kind of pointless to look for anything else right now anyways. Like, you should probably just wait till you get all these resources. Now, it seems to me like what's going to happen here is we'll find a bunch of things. We're going to go up this coning tower. We'll deploy the scavenger bot. Let's go ahead and use one. Our objective has now changed. So yeah, we're supposed to go up. Let's go ahead and use one health kit. We're actually trying to look for more.
I'm sorry, Tucker, but you heard Mahad's announcement. We're facing a Scenario 5 situation.
Scenario 5? What the hell does that even mean?
It means you have to die. We all do. If we don't, he'll just send someone over to do it for us.
Come on, Valerie. Just put that down.
I'm sorry.
They don't have to know.
I'm so sorry.
Not as sorry as I am, Commander. And if any one of them jacked up jarheads tries to come for me, they'll be sorry too.
So yeah, this guy barricaded himself, and so he's probably a necromorph just from starving to death, you would assume. Yeah. It's kind of hard to care about characters from hundreds of years ago. It's kind of hard to care about characters in general in a zombie game, horror game. We have to call this a zombie game.
Guess you were smart enough to make it past my lockout. So you must not be one of those no-neck dipshits on the General's goon squad. But before you go patting yourself on the back, you should know that was the easy part. Your day is about to get a whole lot worse.
So this is going to be like that section in Bioshock 1 where you just are going to straight up use have a side mission here that doesn't really connect to anything else. I'm very confused though as to how this guy's alive. Like, wouldn't it make a heck of a lot of sense that he wouldn't be alive? Just from aging? Well, I guess we never really established the long longevity of life in the future, so it is possible that people live to be 400 or 500 years old naturally, or maybe this is just an AI program that's been programmed. Okay, so we're on the right level. So you really only have to seemingly get on the right vertical level to deploy these things. These doors also are not
All the
the
infected soldiers, they've
dials.
locked them up here for safekeeping. You may think you can put a bullet in my dome, but I've got a ready-made army that says you can't.
So he's gonna release infected soldiers. So maybe this is a ship that is slightly more modern technology? But it kind of didn't feel like that in the front section. Interesting how that camera just kind of twisted that way. But then we have like this kind of different logo. There is something I think to be said about a kind of forced diversity in this universe. I'd like some backstory as to how we have so many people that seem to be from cultures and heritage backgrounds of like modern real world times, hundreds of years in the future. I would have thought that there would have been either new cultures created. What is that? Or there would have been a more than likely just merging of cultures. Let's go and throw this. Yeah, I'm not sure if those mines are supposed to be there to help you or if they're there to hurt you. It does certainly seem like there's a lot of people here. Yeah, and I think this game is probably just going to have frame rate jitters always. I don't think it would be worth it to try and mess with the anti-aliasing.
Explosives. And detonate.
Which one did I miss?
Warning. Contamination detected. Quarantine lockdown activated.
Reading a quarantine lockdown. Are you all right, Isaac?
No, not really. I'm locked in.
Well, there must be an override on one of the walls.
Okay. I look for it as soon as I'm not being stabbed in the face.
So it's not this thing. We'll go ahead and heal. See, the gun automatically reloads anyways when you pull the trigger, so I wonder if that's a feature that literally only exists in higher difficulties. because I guess I'm supposed to be doing this. Yeah. Just go ahead and hit the... So I don't know if this is a case where I'm supposed to be hacking this while I'm doing this or what.
Override accepted. Quarantine lifted. Please report this event to your superior officer.
So yeah, that felt like that generated a lot of bullet usage there. And that we definitely had a lot of room here for explosive stasis things that I could have used, and I could have been more on board with. Okay, I guess these guys are just gonna keep coming. So we should just leave.
Guess you got a knack for killing anything that moves. Fine. But that arsenal of yours ain't gonna help you now. You can't kill electricity.
So I guess we're doing now an electricity puzzle of some sort. And they are giving you this room to have a bit of a break. See, this definitely doesn't feel like this is modern time as far as the ships, but who knows? All the ships could be like very old and still in use, and some ships could be better than the Ishimura just because the Ishimura was like the best ship in the fleet. Okay.
Buckle. Edwards has rigged some kind of electrical trap. Looks like a homemade job with a short-range transmitter.
Short range, huh? Well, a control box must be nearby. If you can find it.
I can shoot it. Thanks.
Attaboy.
So, I guess they're introducing a concept here, but since this is an optional mission, then doesn't that mean we probably won't run into these traps again? I have no idea whether this is going to be one of those scenarios where we end up having to either take damage. Nope. So this is establishing a new thing, certainly, in the idea of doing elemental damage. I'm not sure if it's particularly a great thing in the idea of doing elemental damage. Let's go ahead and take that. Didn't mean to do that. I was trying to reload. There really are like two different button layouts in a lot of games. I think some of it is probably more of a traditional PlayStation, some of it's more of a traditional Microsoft layout, and so very often I'll hit a button expecting it to do one thing and it'll end up doing something else. Interesting that we just have a upgrade circuit sitting in the middle of nothing. I don't know what this cargo lift is supposed to be. I guess you call the cargo lift if it wasn't on the ground, but since it is already up here on this level. And see, I know by the trailer that eventually a Necromorph is going to jump out of these boxes. And it's going to be a fairly big cinematic event. But you could have pretty much guessed that was going to happen anyways. It would have been very silly for these storage boxes to not offer that as a concept. Although, in all fairness, I suppose we have seen that there isn't much of a... It looks like that would be kind of the perfect place to pull that off as the first time for that to happen. We haven't seen a lot of content, new content in this game. So if you had told me, for instance, that you believed, I guess I picked that up or I destroyed that item. One or the other. Don't say I didn't warn you. Yeah. Once again, weird that this is in an optional section. The only thing I could think is maybe eventually this optional section would have turned into a non-optional section, but even that would have been fairly weird. And then there's definitely questions as to just how much reward can you possibly expect. I should have stomped on that instead of using that extra bullet. Is there anything else here? No, it definitely feels like though you're going to end up running. Aren't you dead yet? Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Yeah, I wonder if we aren't going to eventually just...
Bet you didn't know you could reverse gravity plating and hammer someone into the ceiling. I gotta admit, I didn't either until I tried. Go on. Step into the gravity flow. I dare you.
Edwards rigged up some kind of gravity well.
Yeah, I see it. There was a spike in power usage from environmental control when it triggered.
That must be where he's drawing power.
Environmental isn't far from where you are, Isaac. Here, I'll send you the coordinates.
So we're going to take a bit of a further transfer. Interesting how it kind of slid Isaac over to the left. Okay, weapon upgrade. Let's just do it. Upgrade this slot. Add a damage, +1 damage. I thought I had a different chip though. We do have a reload and clip. Which would give me more more stuff, I suppose. I'm not sure that these lower tool circuits though are really doing anything at all. So we have the maximum amount of damage on this weapon. It would start to get kind of crazy to even try and do anything else. If tungsten wasn't an issue, sure, you could have rate of fire and damage increase, which that's really all you need to increase, because you don't need more clip at a certain level unless you're just a really bad shot. Crafting new weapons. wouldn't really make sense. I don't think we still have any argument that we can make as far as like this. Yeah, this would be the thing you would want to do to increase your clip size, is that for the first attachment. And then if I was going to create a secondary attachment, removing the electric charge, and maybe putting stasis on it might be an interesting idea. But that would be about the only thing I would try, is the stasis coating instead of that. Otherwise, you just maybe increase your ammo size, which, again, do you really need bullets? These other items don't do anything for us that I think is great. And then, like, crafting a elite frame, I don't think really does anything for us either. It just kind of saves you some time as far as the way it seems. And crafting a new tip, like, I could reduce damage and make it hit more of an area with a higher clip speed and size, or I could increase damage with that. But it oddly seems like there really is only two options there anyways. Until you start to potentially change your gun completely. And if I wanted something that did a lot more damage, maybe the telemetry spike would make sense, but I don't think it would. Like, there should be some kind of two-handed weapon concept here that would let you make some changes. But I'm sorry for all the background noise that's happening here. It'd be interesting if, like, the ammo sweeper worked even when the gun wasn't equipped, but you don't really need the ammo sweeper. Yeah. Both of these tips decreases the weapon ability. Suppose we could certainly put on a secondary item here. Might as well. This is a heavy frame. So we can make a slight change to the weapon we'll never use. And I guess I can make a shotgun at this point. I have enough. Is there really a reason to do that? I think about the only reason you would want to do that is probably because of an achievement, but just for fun we'll do that, and we'll equip the shotgun. That way we can, if there was an achievement from building something from a blueprint, which it doesn't seem like there actually even was, that's something. Meanwhile, we are more and more just sitting on the half, the medium health kits now. And yeah, we've got plenty of bullets. This game is really, really bad about putting annoying noises somewhere. And I think there's a decent possibility that we just will never get a second scavenger bot, and that this whole thing is going to boil down to you would have had to buy the extra scavenger bots with real world money. Is there something we can shoot from down here? Doesn't sound like it. And it does seem like you are just going to constantly want to deploy. Okay. Where's the box? Go and heal. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's always particularly fair. I think if you're going to actually remake this game, you need a system that says when you are running next to a necromorph or towards a necromorph, you're given some invincibility frames, and you just shoot that. You just shoot that person or kick the necromorph in the head and deal damage. All right. So we do need another tungsten thing. Ammo clip. Rotator cuff module. We already have that, though, don't we? Unless that's a upgraded version of something we already have. Bullets. Thematic gel. Transducer. Tungsten. 17 tungsten. I think barely pays back for what we spent to get in here. It also seems to me like you're probably not going to run into more than one of these at a time. So I seriously doubt there's another room. Whereas previously in the game, you could have many areas. Now the real question is, why can you not just pull this off? Like, you have a welding gun on you, you can't remove the thing. A lot of these boxes don't seem to hand you actual they don't seem to hand you actually important stuff. It is just kind of just, yeah, this is a scrap metal, this is this, this is that. It's kind of pointless to shoot through the vents if there's not a zombie, a necromorph. I feel like in the first game I was much more consistent about calling them necromorphs, and now I've just really resolved down to calling them zombies, and that probably is in part due to the fact that this game is trying to be what it is, which is an action game, and has given up on being a horror game of its own kind of unique brand. So we need to figure out, before we trigger the event, where the Time to face the music. So we're thinking that is going to lock down. And then it's going to want us to run somewhere and activate something else. I kind of had forgotten about these collectibles in total. They take forever to show up. Pause now if you want to read it. And pause now if you want to read the second part of it. Right, so this ladder seems to go back in circle. I may very well just be wasting bullets by shooting these things. So is that the hack? I guess we're probably going to end up having to go through this door, because that's the only thing that really makes any sense.
Look, you know I'm not screwing around. And I can't just let you waltz into environmental. I don't want to die. I'm sorry. Computer, arm explosives. And detonate. Be seeing you.
So I missed one.
Warning. Contamination detected. Quarantine.
Now I've got the goo on me, so it's slowing down my ability to walk. I don't know if this is supposed to be a case of us just having to work our way through the fight, or what? Okay. Some kind of puzzle here.
Quarantine lockdown activated.
What am I supposed to be doing here? I have no idea what the goal is. So how am I supposed to know what I'm doing is right? Where'd that one come from? Let's go ahead and heal. Okay.
Warning. Contamination detected.
I think I figured this out. One more. And there, I just got an achievement called Empty Chamber. Okay. So, in this case, the game literally didn't tell me anything as far as help. And I find that fairly annoying. This is not blown up until later, so you can't solve the puzzle early. Very possible that there's a puzzle here too.
Look, you know I'm not screwing around. And I can't just let you waltz into environmental. I don't want to die. I'm sorry. Computer, arm explosives. And detonate. Be seeing you.
Okay.
Warning. Contamination
So
detected. Quarantine lockdown activated.
we've got one guy here. That one was in the right place. I probably should have cleaned out some of this area first. We'll go and heal. We'll go and heal again. Now, see, I assume I'm supposed to be trying to get all of the connection. Like, I assume I'm supposed to be trying to get all the connection points to work. But I don't know if I'm doing it right or not. I don't think I am.
Warning. Contamination detected. Quarantine lockdown activated.
Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here.
Warning. Contamination detected. Quarantine lockdown activated.
Let's just see if there's maybe some other puzzle here that I missed. Or, like, clearly there's a puzzle there, but the game is not really explaining it to me, nor has it really established the idea of looking around for a puzzle. Like, see, like, there's 3 different kinds of connectors. I see that.
Warning. Contamination detected. Quarantine lockdown activated.
So yeah, the only way I think this one works is this way or that way. Does that one work that way though? No. Does that one work that way? Yes. So it feels like what they've done is they've created a system here just to make you listen to the music more than anything as you're trying to solve this overly complicated puzzle game.
Accepted. Quarantine lifted. Please report this event to your superior officer.
Yeah, that was bad. That was not good by any means. That just straight up sucked. Didn't give me a tutorial line of dialogue, which feels like you definitely needed that. We've never done that before. We've never seen anything like that before in the game. This is done in an optional mission, and it seems like the optional mission really is more just cutting in floor contents that they didn't bother to properly vet the player for. See, and I don't think I should be using a small health kit. I want to live. I'm not reading all of this, really. But yeah. I suspect what we're gonna find out that this is Like he expected people to actually make it this far at a certain level.
You hotwired the power from environmental, all right. Any workarounds from your end?
Nope. The only way that trap's coming down is by pulling apart the power generator somehow.
It's spinning too fast. I can't see what's going on.
Can you slow it down?
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, we have another text dialogue thing. But the problem with this is you're writing dialogue and story, pause now if you want to read it, for an optional character that just doesn't matter. Even in the Bioshock sequence when that happened, that was what was going on. The only thing I would say is that the Bioshock sequence in particular was designed to occur after there had been some major action, so it was kind of a falling action section. This isn't really falling action sections, I would say. This is more just a case of this is more just a case of more action on top of action.
That's all I wanted. To live. I wanted to live.
Yep, that did the trick. Gravity is reading normal again.
What do you think is worse, Buckle? Dying along with everyone else, or being the only one who survives?
It's not the dying that scares me. It's not making a difference before I do. You should be able to make it to the top of the conning tower now, Isaac. If Edwards is around, that's where you'll find him.
Notice that it refilled half of my stasis just because of it taking a while. Just because I did nothing. So, like, logically here, we should just take him. We should be able to, we should be yelling out at him and saying, hey, we're here to rescue you. We're not here to hurt you. Or we don't give a crap about you anyways. In a funny way, you, I guess, leave this guy to live if you simply had not done this optional mission. And see, now we're just gonna walk back through areas, and they've got to throw something at you, I'm sure, but wouldn't be surprised if it's not really that much. Maybe it's supposed to be a sad statement. I suppose we are getting a little bit of missing. Yeah. Yeah, this might be more backstory as far as the old man character who talks to us and helps us, and this might be a little bit more backstory of Isaac and the way he thinks, since he was mostly a silent protagonist in the first game and not much of a... Yeah, he was completely a silent protagonist in the first game, for one cheap surprise at the end, which the surprise was decent enough, but I wouldn't really have had a character not right. Oh, so the little scavenger bot crawls down in the bottom of it, so that's why the benches are different, I suppose. So what I'd really like to see is some suit upgrades before I go any further. So it would be silly to potentially try to like upgrade this in any way. which we didn't get anything for making blueprints, so unless there's an achievement for making multiple blueprints, I don't see a reason to do that. We could upgrade that, but I don't want to. This is the problem, though. Like, either you sit on the tungsten now, or you construct another torque bar. And I think you have to kind of construct another torque bar. And inventory-wise, we are good. We're getting more of the small med kits, which is still fine. And then the question is, can we just deploy the scavenger bot back to where it is? Yes, we can, so we might as well do that, because whatever timing happens on that, clearly the faster the better. So yeah, we may very well be getting some hint here that at the end of this game, Isaac survives and everybody else dies, or Isaac dies with everybody else. Well, on the first floor, so let's go to the second floor, I suppose. It does seem like there's more level here than what you would first think. Yeah, I think sometimes you are just going to straight up run into scenarios where there are elevators that will take you places, and those places are just storage facilities. Interesting, you can't do anything with the cow head, but you could do something with the deer head. So this is just like, yeah, a key. I guess maybe we needed that key. And a text log. It would be helpful if these were dated with like real world dates instead of this ISC numbers, which maybe is a date or not. Pause now if you want to read. Pause now if you want to read the last sentence. That would probably help a little bit. Yeah, these showers look like the showers on the moon. There's one body here, and I suspect and wonder if that isn't the guy that set up the traps and just pre-programmed them all to happen. And yeah, it does not seem like there's any more experience to have there. So yeah, you are definitely going to have a different experience whether or not you're willing to read or not. Whereas BioShock kind of forced more players into having a more natural experience by having the audio logs play out loud, and that just being that. Yeah, I'm still not sure if it's beneficial to try and blow up the...
Congratulations. You found me. Kinda stupid, ain't it? I just wanted to live, and now that I'm the only one left, I couldn't give a shit. With all this time alone, I realize it's just like Sam said. I'm a lazy prick who never took one for the team. Well, team, if you can hear me now...
Are these supposed to be speakers or lights? Is that what this is?
Congratulations.
Okay, so that just played automatically.
Kinda stupid.
So here he is.
I just wanted to live, and now that I'm the only one left, I couldn't give a shit. With all this time alone, I realized it's just like Sam said. I'm a lazy prick who never took one for the team. Well, team, If you can hear me now, this one's for you.
So yeah, he was just surviving here for a while, and it didn't matter. Interesting how the texture of the floor is getting overlaid on this hat. So yeah, he survived for a while. Until he didn't. We were just coming for resources. And that's all we really cared about. So if he killed himself, it's kind of pointless. He clearly didn't care enough to take off any of the defenses, so at a certain point he's just acting out of spite or vengeance to try and kill as many of anybody coming to find his body or make sure he's dead. Okay, so we got a spare parts box, an upgrade circuit, another spare parts box, a medical support, an upgrade circuit. Ooh, my inventory's full. Well, at that point, then we'll just use this. Inventory's full again. Yeah, I think are running into a situation here where the game is designed to give you a massive amount of resources for 2 players, and then when they brought it back down to single player, they didn't really have a balanced out concept there.
It took me a while, but I realize now why we couldn't be allowed to live. So if you found this and you're still alive, I guess I can finally do my part. Computer, blow all remaining charges.
Okay. Are we looking to escape, or are we looking to take on the enemies? I guess that was just a small section. And we need to get to a bench, and then we need to just leave. Maybe not in that order. Because, yeah, it seems like what's going to happen is that we're just going to constantly have things attack us as the country music keeps playing. Which I can't say I particularly hate the country music or anything. Is there a real reason to fight any of these guys? Yeah, I guess there is. These cut scenes, sections are, I think, problematic, that they take too long. Yeah, it's just not really worth it to run. And yet it still is kind of worth it to run. jumping on that guy. I just used like 2 health kits because I was nearly dead. I think there's some kind of dishonesty in your inventory system here too, because you aren't really like.
Well, was it worth a look?
Yeah, Tucker had a nice pile of salvage.
Good.
I'm headed to the aft section now to check out.
It's funny
that
that the
shuttle.
game decides to
Hopefully
tell
it's
you
not a
that.
piece of shit.
So yeah, I could have shot a lot more things to get a lot more items, but the scavenge items that it's offering I don't think are particularly even worth the extra effort. So medic support plus 1 rate of fire plus clip plus 1 reload plus damage, and the scavenger bot is returned, giving me some more stuff. Now we have enough tungsten to probably upgrade our health in a suit. Okay. So if we were gonna do, let's see, a new gun with a new plasma core, that's not new. So what is new? Medic support. Health packs can be used by health packs consumed by self also heal partner. Alright, well that's pointless, but I'll equip it since I've got nothing else. This would increase damage but reduce clip size and speed, and honestly I'm two-shotting things right now. I don't see a reason why that would change. There's also not, I think, a good reason to upgrade that. And nothing to upgrade there. So we could look at this gun, which right now we have rate of fire, which we could change that to reload and damage. And then we can change this one to rate of fire and clip. If we ever do use the shotgun, which I think is a fairly big if. It totally is possible that there are different upgrade parts for other guns, but the way this whole gun system works, until we could hold at least 3 of them, it doesn't really make sense. Yeah, it says there's a new upgrade available. I don't know which one would be the new thing. What we've yet to see is anything that's like +2. And I think +2 will eventually happen. But I don't think we're going to be able to just like simplistically have a merging of the upgrade clips. I'm going to take one of these and put them here. And I think it's probably fine to put one of those there. Although maybe we put 2 of those in there just in case. It does seem like we will just constantly, and we can't put the scavenge bot here, so we might as well place it at the next area. Yeah, I'd really like to do a suit upgrade, but I'm not 100% sure that we'll be able to do that before we really need to end this. So this was the mid section. We started in the fore section. So we were going to the aft section. I doubt there's going to be any Necromorphs that attack us. Remember, we did fight the regenerators, and that was the last fighting, difficult fight that happened in the game. We may very well be leaving via the shuttle bay, so we may very well never go back to the forefront section, and we know we missed at least a small room, and as much as an entire floor in the fore section. It's just not really worth going back to.
Engineering and repair.
So, audio cubes indicate a resource cache is nearby. Is that supposed to tell me something? No, it just had the scavenger bot equipped, and so that's why it said that. Okay. So, unfortunately, unless there was a suit upgrade just in this room, we are craft tungsten bar at the bench to unlock. There isn't even a bench here. Like, this is just the same layout, which doesn't surprise me a lot considering how the game is. There's a military engine gun just sitting on the ground. I mean, it is a spaceship. It would be fairly standardized content. Clips. If I don't get some tungsten in this room, this one may have been a mistake. Yeah, there's no collectibles here. Oops. I don't think I got any tungsten, so I think I just wasted some tungsten. And that was very much in line with the way games, the Dead Space games worked before. No, it did give me some, like 18 tungsten. But yeah, there definitely were some dud rooms that were barely worth it or weren't really worth it at all. And I suppose if you played the game multiple times, you would have been able to figure that out. So, yeah, regenerators are back, and if you had just skipped over the optional section of the game, those regenerators would have been there with you the whole time. And from the sounds of it, that's just going to be more action. It would have been nice, probably by the third game, to have a map and a bit more of a open world experience for the Dead Space universe. The Dead Space 1 and 2 were very linear experiences, but the Ishimura made it seem like you were kind of on the same ship, kind of going back and forth, but you really weren't. You just sometimes cross through the same hallway with a different key. In this case, you're barely even doing that much, whereas by the third game, probably would have been a little bit nicer if there was a kind of central hub and several different areas to the north, south, east, and west and such. in different directions. Of course, Dead Space doesn't make sense if it's not set in space, which, since half of this game seems like it's going to be on a planet, that doesn't make a lot of sense either, but we'll ignore that. So if it is set in space, you would need some kind of giant spaceship that was like a colony spaceship instead of these more narrow passenger or worker ships that are similar to submarines in their design more than anything else. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to say. We went through that whole optional section, and the story kind of doesn't seem like it matters. Getting the resources probably helps a little bit, but I think the game is going to balance itself fairly well. That puzzle sucked. That was really bad to not give us any indication that there even was a puzzle in the room to override the rooms. My fear now is, now that we're back out of the optional mission and back to where the game was before, my fear is we're going to run through this entire aft section fairly quickly, trying to just avoid damage so that we can then just avoid regenerators. When an enemy dies, it typically isn't giving you the resources that you need. It is giving you clips for bullets, which you definitely need, and health kits, which you definitely need. This is not a game where I think most people would never take any damage. But then it gives you somatic gels and scraps of metals and transducers and semiconductors, and none of that really matters because everything else is limited by tungsten, or if it's not limited by tungsten, it's limited by such a massive amount of semiconductors or a massive amount of scrap metal that you won't really have the resources to build whatever guns you think you might want to build, which honestly, when you can only carry 2 guns, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It would make more sense if there was a salesman in this game and you were building guns and then selling them, or if you were building guns and you were giving them to NPC characters, and there was some kind of gameplay mechanic where you could survive, you could help NPC characters survive a lot longer by the gun you hand them to, and that there would be some kind of crazy, like, save them all concept similar to Mass Effect 2, where if you do enough side missions and do enough loyalty missions in Mass Effect 2, you can save everybody on your ship. But most people wouldn't know what to do or how to do it, or wouldn't be able to do it on the first playthrough. So that would be an interesting idea. It's not an interesting idea in a horror game. It might be an interesting idea in more of a NPC RPG game. And that's where it really falls apart, is that this whole gun customization is something that makes a lot more sense in an RPG than it does a horror game, where horror games, typically you're fairly limited in the types of weapons and the types of damage you can inflict. Resident Evil 4 is probably an outlier in that case, where you have the ability to switch out guns fairly frequently and upgrade guns a little bit by putting scopes on them, and that's about it. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wish list. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.